Washington members of Congress confronted Christopher A. Wray, the FBI director, on Wednesday over an FBI intelligence report that said that black extremists were targeting law enforcement because of police abuses in minority communities. Mr. Wray met with the Congressional Black Caucus for about 90 minutes on Capitol Hill to discuss its members' concerns about the report, which grouped together blacks who have espoused violent ideologies, some of whom went on to attack the police, under the term the Black Identity Extremist Movement. Representative Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat of New York, said Mr. Wray struggled to defend the report's analysis and could not identify a single black identity extremist group. He was asked to publicly clarify that there is no scintilla of evidence, as far as we can tell, to provide an example of the black identity extremist movement or any groups that fall in that category. Mr. Jeffries said that clarification should be made publicly, it seems to many of us, and not privately behind closed doors. Mr. Jeffries said that Mr. Wray would consider the request. In the report, the FBI's Domestic Terrorism Analysis Unit said that violence directed at law enforcement increased after a grand jury did not indict a white police officer who fatally shot in 2014 Michael Brown, an 18-year-old black man, in Ferguson, MO. Citing 6 attacks, the report said that those responsible committed assault over perceived racism and injustice, and that some in the movement wanted to establish a sovereign, autonomous black homeland in the United States. Elected leaders, legal experts, and civil rights activists said that labeling a so-called movement as black identity extremists was ambiguous and meant to chill free speech. They said the Bureau's analysis, earlier reported by Foreign Policy, harked back to the FBI spying illegally on blacks during the civil rights movement and other groups suspected of being subversive. The FBI is linking disparate conduct and unconnected groups to come up with a manufactured black race-based ideology for suspicion and investigation, said Hina Shamsi, the director of the National Security Project at the American Civil Liberties Union. We've seen this kind of shoddy analysis and bias-based conclusions all too often, applied to African Americans, Muslim Americans, environmental activists and others. Ms. Shamsi added, the FBI has a critical role in protecting civil liberties, but it routinely undermines them by unjustifiably and unfairly targeting minorities and those who dissent. This month, Representative Karen Bass, a Democrat who represents the Los Angeles area, questioned Attorney General Jeff Sessions about the report during a House Judiciary Committee hearing. You should know that a lot of activists around the country are very concerned that we are getting ready to repeat a very sad chapter of our history, she told Mr. Sessions. She said that activists were worried that they were targets of surveillance and labeled extremists simply for protesting. Mr.